SeatGeek. For all your ticketed events, from sporting to concert outings, SeatGeek has you covered. They even conveniently color-coded each ticket on their website from amazing to worst, so you can easily know which are the best deals. SeatGeek, the smart way to buy. Save $20 off your next ticket purchase with the promo code. Hey everybody, I'm your host, El Grande Gato, also known as the Big Cat, my cool guys with the ball. Damn, I need a vitamin B. Pause up if you rock with the Big Cat. Today we're talking about Q&A session with the Carolina Panthers. We'll talk about third. One quick before we get started. Do you love the squad like I love the squad? Oh, say, can you see? Yes, no, maybe. Do you love the Carolina Panthers like I love the Carolina Panthers? If you love the Carolina Panthers like I Carolina Panthers, simply put, give me that dab. We'll talk about this Q&A section. Let's get into it.
That boy is good.
Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Now, man, y'all guys showed out today, man. Y'all showed out this past couple days. I asked you guys, let's have a Carolina Panthers Q&A session on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube, and you guys overwhelmed me. So, because you guys overwhelmed me, we're going to do part 2, that's right. But right now, we're going to do part 1, so let's go ahead and get into the first question. If you look up on your screen right here, the first question comes from IC Pablo on YouTube. Shout out to IC Pablo. He says, do you think we'll look back 3 to 4 years from now and regret not making Eric Bieniemy the head coach? Well, good question, by the way. This is kind of tricky, man. When it comes to Eric Bieniemy, the reason why it's so tricky, the reason why it's so sticky is because when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs offense, you don't know who deserves the majority credit. I mean, is it the fact that Andy Reid is a hell of a coach, a seasoned coach when it comes to offensive schemes? Is it the fact that Patrick Mahomes is out of this world kind of talent? Is it the receivers? Is it the tight ends? Now, mind you, he has to draw up the plays, but we've seen countless of times where my man Mahomes went out there and improvised. You know what I mean? One thing I do like about Eric Bieniemy and I do like about Andy Reid is something we couldn't find out when it came to Ron Rivera. At halftime during the Super Bowl, those guys were down by 10 and they adjusted to come back and win. So again, I think it's not nothing to do with race. A lot of people are saying he's black enough to win a Super Bowl, but he's not light enough to be a head coach. Stop it with that. I just think they don't know. You see, the thing about Matt Rule, I put it like this. Matt Rule, when it comes to coaching, yes, he doesn't have the NFL experience, but he does have the ability to run less talent and get more production. You see what I'm saying? So you know that even on a college level, with lesser talent, he can go ahead and produce wins. He can flip programs. He's shown that. He has a track record of that. Eric Bieniemy, what will he be without Andy Reid? What will he be without Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce? He doesn't have a track record of being an offensive coordinator without explosive kind of players like that. And I think it scares people. But because of that, I don't think we'll regret it. But I honestly will say this right here. I hope that Eric Bieniemy tears up everybody's ass, and I hope he stays with the Kansas City Chiefs over the next couple of years. And I hope he tear everybody's ass up that passed on him except Carolina. Because I honestly think he's a good coach. I just think people are scared of him. I'm inclined to believe, man, if Matt Rule, if his track record precedes him, I think we'll be all right, and I don't think we're going to regret that. But, no, we're not going to regret Eric Bieniemy 3 to 4 years from now.
Message.
This next question comes from Run CMC from YouTube. What is the first position you want to target when it comes to free agency? Pause up. This is no-brainer for me. We got to target middle linebacker and probably defensive end. Now, middle linebacker is obviously the number one concern for that defense because of Luke Kuechly's abrupt retirement. But I can see us definitely get a defensive end. If we're going to run a 4-3 again, which I'm hearing we're probably going to run a multiple package, 4-3, 3-3-5, 3-4, all that goodness. All right, so you're going to want to have that line together. You got to understand, Carolina was at their best. In history, they were at their best when they had a solid defensive line. Brenton Bruckner, Chris Jenkins, Mike Rucker, Julius Pepper, the whole shebang. If you get that line together, you get that defense a chance. So, with that being said, I would get middle linebacker first. Corey Littleton, you got Danny Trevathan, you got Blake Martinez. You got a lot of guys coming out. Reggie Ragland. You got a bunch of guys coming out that could potentially fill that void. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get a solid defensive end. We already know what Mario Addison could do. I will put him back down on the ground because, he's a stud. And put somebody else on the other side of him. We just don't know who's going to be on the other side. You know what I mean? But If you had to ask me, the first position we target, middle linebacker, DN.
Life is good. You know what I mean?
Next question from Big Willie Style from YouTube. He asks, what was the better move, firing Ron Rivera or hiring Matt Rhule? Well, I mean, God damn, y'all hate Ron Rivera, huh? Well, I tell you like this right here. Ron Rivera was a move that needed to happen. You know what I mean? I think it was a little overdue. Matt Rhule was a surprising move to me. So if you ask me which one was the better move, shit, man, this is tough. I'm going to say Matt Rhule, man. Hiring Matt Rhule was better than firing Ron Rivera. I honestly believe that Matt Rhule has something about him. He has that euphemism. I think he has whatever it takes to flip a program around. I mean, you got to have, first of all, you got to have the players buy into what you're doing, okay? I don't care how many programs you turn around. I don't care what your magic is, whether it be the Kool-Aid, the juice. I don't care what it is. If you don't have the ability to capture these guys' attention, to buy into your system, your program, your ways, then it's not going to happen. I honestly think he has that. I think he has something special about it. And I think they're going to play hard for him. And now, will it produce results? We'll find out here soon. But this was the better move than let go Ron Rivera.
Is you dumb?
All right, we're going to keep it pushing right here with Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean asks, will Dante Jackson have the best year this upcoming season? Well, Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. Let me tell you something. We got a lot of talkers on the team, man. We got a lot of talkers. We got a lot of guys who, we got a lot of talkers. We'll just say it like that right there. Dante's been very active this offseason when it comes to, making it vocal about the disrespect and people sleeping on him, haters, stuff like that. Yes, I've been paying attention. Now, hopefully this will have him fueled and he'll come out and ball. Listen, Dante Jackson's not a bad cornerback. A lot of you guys, I give him a hard time. I gave him a hard time. He's not a bad cornerback. He's just a young guy. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm dealing with that now with my own kid. You got young kids. You can't tell them nothing. They're extremely talented, extremely gifted. They're their own man. So he has to become a humble man. Kendrick said a humble man is all we need. But is he ready for a breakout season? I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I mean, with all the talks around James Bradbury could be leaving. Turns out we can get a Kool from Ohio State. I mean, there's a lot of mystery surrounding around that cornerback spot. So, I mean, this is a bit of time to step up, make your legacy. Step up, make your name be heard loud. So, it's time to redeem. I also believe in Phil Snow. I believe Phil Snow was a great hire. I seen him on tape against Temple. I really like what he did there. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he is. So, it's all up to Dante. It's all about what's his attitude, what's his mentality when it comes to playing this year. I know he's definitely going to be hyped up. I know he's going to be filled up. But will he be humble enough? Will he be patient enough? Will he buy into the system to realize it's not all about you being fast or jumping high or being athletic, but trusting the process, trusting your technique, and you put you in good positions? We'll find out here soon.
Yes!
This next question comes from Chris Merrick. He asks, can a college staff make it in the NFL? Good question here. Yes, they can make it in the NFL, and I like what Matt Rhule, in particular, what he did when it comes to this staff. Even though he brought in a lot of familiar faces from Baylor, he also brought in former Giants assistants and stuff like that, and even consulted Tom Coughlin when it comes to his own staff. That was a big step for me right there, that last step, that last piece I just mentioned right there. If you're going to be an unexperienced or inexperienced coach, you better have somebody over you that know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Somebody who has done it, somebody that can be a good advisor. And I like where he's going right here. Now, if you're asking me, will he come out and have a winning record off the back? I can't say that. I'm not going to say that. But I will tell you, this future is bright for Matt Rhule. You know what I mean? I honestly believe that he has a good head on his shoulder. I think, like I said before, I think he has a way of making people buy in. Not only that, I think he has good advisors around him. And I honestly think that he's headed in the right direction. It's just going to take a little time here. Okay, so don't get your panties in the wad if it don't pan out maybe year one. And maybe if year two, you see a little more progress, but not as much progress. But by year three, you should really see what Matt Rhule is all about. So, yeah, you can make it in the NFL with a college staff.
Bye, Felicia.
This next question comes from 704 Charlotte Bound. He asks, do you think our first two picks should be defense picks or one defense and one offensive weapon? When it comes to the Carolina Panthers this offseason, our biggest problem relies on that defense, okay? Got a lot of holes in that defense that we need to plug up. Our offense has some issues late, but as you could tell throughout the season, it has some high moments. You know what I mean? DJ Moore was one of them. Also, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Ali even had some high moments. Even the offensive line had some high moments. So, listen, we can build on the things that we already got there. When it comes to that defense, they did have some high moments, but they had a lot more low moments than the high moments. Now, because of that, do we need to reach with our first 2 picks and just pick defense? No, I don't want to say that. All right? When it comes to drafting, you need to pick the best player available, because I honestly believe in the first round and going into the early second round, a lot of defensive players are going to come off that board, which means there's going to be a lot of good offensive players, in particular offensive linemen, all right? There's no need to reach. Now, if we have the 2 best players on the board in the first round and the second round, our defense, I say get them if they meet our position that we need. Defensive line is one of them, linebackers one of them. We need to go ahead and get those guys. But we shouldn't reach, okay? Because if you reach, what's going to happen is next year you're going to turn around and you're going to be drafting for the same position. I think we'll plug some holes up during the free agency, so drafting should be a little more smoother than it wouldn't be if we didn't. So, no, I don't think we need to go defense. First round pick, I want to take my man Brown if he's there. If he's not there, Okudah. I think Okudah would be another good pick. If he's not there, then we take the best player available. Don't reach, man. Just take our time.
Stick around.
Next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Caleb Dixon. He asks, what do we do if Cam Newton is the starter next year? He does really well, stays healthy, maybe even make a Pro Bowl, but we don't make the playoffs. Good question. If Cam Newton comes out and has success, which I'm predicting that he will have some success, I mean, you have to ask yourself, because it looks like they're gonna make him play on that 1-year deal. Do you have the courage to sign him to another 3 or 4 year deal? You know what I mean? That's what it simply boils down to. Listen, I'm in the mindset of why delay the inevitable. You know what I mean? Even if he does come out and have some success, I don't know, man, because at the end of the day, his 1 year will be up at the end of the day. So it's not like we can be able to trade him after this year, because his contract is going to be up if he does play on that 1 year deal. So, I don't know, man. I kind of want the future to go ahead and get started. But if he comes out and have really, really good year, we've seen this before with Steve Smith. We've seen this before with D'Angelo Williams. Usually they come back, they have one good year with another team, and then they're just kind of pedestrian along the way. So I'm under the mindset that if Cam comes out and have a good year, and we don't make the playoffs, you said we don't make the playoffs, but he does make a Pro Bowl, then I say, man, let him walk, man. Let's go ahead and get Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence or whoever else is the best quarterback out there. Again, it's not about individual accolades. We done been through that already with Christian McCaffrey. Love the guy to death. Love both those guys to death. But at the end of the day, man, I want to compete for a chip. You know what I mean? I want to be able to sit back and watch the Super Bowl with my team in it. You know what I mean? So individual accolades and stuff, they're meant to be celebrated in Canton or after you retire. So we go 7-9, 8-8, 6-10, or whatever. My man makes the Pro Bowl, shows out. Doesn't really do us any good there. So at that point, man, you love him. You don't give him extension. You let him go, and it's time to move on. Because if you're bringing him back now, you bring him back to win. We're not bringing him back to have a good damn season and not miss the playoff. Doesn't make much sense there. So, hey, I mean, a lot of pressure on him, but he's Superman. He believes in it, so I think we'll be all right, huh?
You like that? You like that?
All right, this next question comes from my man Tree50 from YouTube. He asks, for the 7th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Isaiah Simmons, linebacker / safety out of Clemson. Why is this a good move or a bad move? Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't like Isaiah Simmons. Not as a person, okay? Not as a person, but as far as what he brings. I turned on the tape. I actually watched tape, and I haven't put it out. I broke down the game, man. Isaiah Simmons is going to be a safety at the next level. I guarantee he's a safety at the next level. And the reason why I say that is if you're trying to bring him in to play linebacker, he's not fluid enough. He's very athletic. He's long. He's lean. He can jump. He can bounce down passes. He has that speed, that closing speed, but he's not fluid enough. One thing that Luke Kuechly, it's hard to find about anybody to try to be like him. Luke Kuechly could diagnose, take off, and he could drop back, get into pass coverage. He diagnoses it. He wasn't a guy that reacted, then read. He was a guy that read, then reacted. You know what I mean? Isaiah Simmons is a guy that sit there, he reacts first and then tries to read. And by the time he reacts, I mean, my man is getting washed down somewhere, okay? A lot of times you send him in a hole, he just fly up the field, boom, then try to react, and he gets blocked, okay? Lean, athletic, tall, but again, it's not as fluid with his motion, doesn't read well. He can make up speed. He has that make up speed. I mean, he can close in, okay, when he does diagnose a play right, but he's not a field general. I'm more than likely to see him as a safety. And the Carolina Panthers right now don't need a safety. Well, I guess I can't say that. I just say this right here. You're not going to take a safety with a 7th pick unless he's a hell of a stud. You know what I mean? Sean Taylor, Eric Reed kind of guy. You know what I mean? But, again, Isaiah Simmons is not a linebacker at the next level. Athletic, long, lean, tall. Not as fluid. I mean, doesn't move from side to side well. He can close in when you do get, when he does lock in. He doesn't have that, you know what I mean, read, take off. He has that kind of react first. And then when I'm up Shit's Creek, then I need to read. It's too late then. Luke Kuechly, man, you guys are really going to see this year how important this guy was when it comes to diagnosing play, being fluid, being in the right spot, okay? So, again, Isaiah Simmons, love him. Don't think he'll be a linebacker at the next level. I think he'll be a safety, and I think he'll be a solid safety. This next question comes from Trey Davis. Trey Davis asks, are we truly rebuilding if we sign a running back to a almost near low quarterback contract, 16 to 18 million? Is it out of the rim to trade C-Mac? And could you pass up on defensive pieces to finally draft an O-line in the 1st and 2nd round? Good question, man. My man asked 2 good questions. All right, so the first question was, if I'm not mistaken, I see, could you pay Christian McCaffrey 16 to 18 million dollars? And is it out of the realm of trading him? Why not? I mean, he deserves the money. He deserves the money. But again, at the end of the day, you got to understand, it's going to tie up cap for essential pieces that we still need. We still going to need a linebacker spot. We're still going to need, another cornerback spot. We don't know what's going to happen there. Defensive ends as well. So do you really want to top your money in Christian McCaffrey? Or you say, is it out of the realm of trading him? I think Christian McCaffrey's hands off when it comes to trading him. You give him what he wants, man. Certain people are just faces of the franchise. You either go down with him. I mean, you kind of give him a contract to keep him happy for the rest of his career. All right? You just don't let these guys walk. Christian McCaffrey's the kind of guy, if you let him go, he's going to go somewhere and he's going to ball out. He's probably going to win a Super Bowl with him. So, even though it's going to tie up some critical cap space, you make some other moves. You're going to make some tough moves, man. Maybe some of these older guys on these older contracts, trade them or release them or however you want to get it done. But you make sure Christian is happy. Now, your other question was, could we pass up on key defensive pieces to draft O-line in the 1st and 2nd round? Again, I'm going to go back to my original statement that I said earlier. You don't want to reach. I mean, if the best player on the board is offensive line, you take him. Now, do I want to take him in 1st and 2nd round? I think you guys don't give this offensive line enough credit. I think the offensive line was good. Through injuries, through bad play, that's when you start to see the drop off, you know what I mean? But at one point in time, this offensive line was clicking. Okay, so if the best player on the board in the 1st round is offensive line, I think that should be enough right there for like the first 2 rounds. 2nd round, go to D-line. And then 3rd round, you go back and reassess who's the best player out there. If it's another offensive line, you take it. But you don't want to take offensive line because the damn analyst says so. You know what I mean? You want to take the best offensive line if that's the best player on the board. And you damn sure don't want to take it back to back. Again, I think one offensive line could kind of go ahead and touch up, what we already got. And then a D-line, either D-line 1st round, D-line 2nd, or offensive line 2nd round, offensive line 2nd round, defensive line 1st round. However you want to do it, flip-flop. But there's no need to take either defense, 1st round, 2nd round, offensive line, 2nd round. It doesn't make no sense. Again, if we fucked around a guy like Kinlaw and Brown for 1st round, 2nd round pick, you can't pass that up. Let's say for whatever reason Kinlaw slid into the early 2nd round and we already got Derrick Brown. You got to make that happen, man. That's the only way you make that happen, if those guys are the best players left on the board. Other than that, there's no need to rush.
Damn.
This next question comes from Steve Hoagland. Shout out to Steve Hoagland. He says, how will the Panthers address Eric Reed's struggle in coverage? Good question. You guys are on fire tonight. Eric Reed did struggle last year when it comes to coverage. He's a hell of a run stuffer. We also know he can layer the boom down. But again, you've seen him really get exposed against the tight end from New Orleans Saints, Cook, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple other times as well. I don't know, man. I just don't know that answer right there. I think you're going to have to see him. You're going to have to man up and, do better, man. That's the best way I can say it right there. I think you're going to see a lot of underneath coverage. And the reason why I think he still kind of struggles this year is because those linebackers are young, you know what I mean? I mean, you got Bruce Irvin out there, another guy who I'm very highly of, you know what I mean, when it comes to Bruce Irvin. But other than that, you got Jermaine Carter, you got Shaq Thompson, another guy who's a veteran. I think he can hold his own. But I don't know if he'll learn his lesson this year. I think he's going to be asked to do more in coverage because the fact that Luke Kuechly's gone. So you're going to see him coming up. I think you're going to see a lot of one high safety this year, maybe Trey Boston over top. But I think he's just going to have to man up and be at the end of the day and deal with it, man. And I don't know if he can, you know what I mean? So, again, it's all going to be about scheming. I think my man Phil Snow is going to do a real good job when it comes to disguise and blitz packages, also dropping back in coverage. So, it's going to be really up to Phil Snow. It's not about Eric Reed figuring it out. I think if Phil Snow's going to have to figure out how to put him in places and not be so exposed, you know what I mean? But I think he can get it done, but like I said, will he get it done? He put her a seed. We just don't know.
Jesus Christ.
This next question, one of my favorite questions. Shout out to Dakota from Twitter. Who is your top 5 all-time Carolina Panthers in your opinion? Okay, man, you gonna put me on blast like that. All right, here we go. Now, this is subject to change, but as of today, number 5, you got Thomas Davis. Nobody has been a harder-hitting legend, a guy who faced more adversity from coming in the league, from switching over to safety, from having ACL surgery, to a guy who wasn't even supposed to be in the NFL as long as he is. And not only did he stay in the league as long as he is, he made an impact, Pro Bowl, Walter Payton Man of the Year, just a guy that you love the hell out of. So he's number 5. Number 4, can we all say it together? Luke, that's right, Luke Kuechly, man, one of a kind Hall of Famer. Again, you can't have the yin without the yang when it comes to Thomas Davis. I got to put Luke Kuechly at number 4. Number 3, man, this one is a little tough right here, but I'm gonna have to go with, let's see, who can I put at number 3? Let me see. Okay, Cam Newton, yeah, Cam Newton's number 3. All right, man, listen, Hall of Fame legend. I always said that when he's done, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. The records that he smashed, the way that he plays the game, the innovative, the fun, the swag, the turn up, the drip, all that good stuff that he has brought to Carolina. He made Carolina into kakalaki. I mean, he just put the barbecue in it. So you gotta love Cam for all that he's done. Brought a NFC Championship trophy, another one, back to Charlotte. So you gotta give him love right there. So number 2. All right, so you guys should already know who the top 2 is. So it's either him or it's not him. Number 2 is going to be Steve Smith, man. Okay, Steve Smith, the legend. Nobody can match him, man. I mean, a guy who was only, 5'9", 5'10", played with the heart of a 6'4", nigga. Yeah! Steve Smith, feisty. You ain't never seen no little guy talk that much crap and back it up. Guy who went out there and laid it out. Not only did he lay it out, he held Joe Butt accountable. If he walked the walk, you better be out there walking the walk, laid it all out there on the line. Man, you gotta love him. That same feistiness, that same attitude that he played by, you know what I mean? It really rubbed off on other teammates and got us to a Super Bowl. So again, he's at number 2. So you're like, damn, if he's number 2, who's number 1? I gotta put Julius Pep, man. Pep the GOAT, man. Listen, I think he's in the top 5 when it comes to all-time sack. I mean, and here's my thing that I love about Pep. And this is probably one of my favorite players, like if I could ever meet, man, just like meet him one-on-one, just chill with him. It got to be Pep, man, because, I mean, his philanthropy, man. I like the way, remember after the hurricane came through, the tropical storm, my man was out there donating his money, his time, had the team come out. I mean, not only that, I mean, just his performance on the field. I mean, he's a sack master. You got to love him, man. Sound like a real cool dude. Listen, 2-sport athlete coming out of college. Just a real humble man. He's the greatest Carolina Panther of all time to me. Follow behind Steve Smith.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
This next question comes from Twitter. Alex Akers asked me, over under 5 wins next year. That could put me on the spot. Listen, man, I'll say this right here. Over, man. I think we'll be over. I think we'll kind of be anywhere between the 6-ish to 7-ish to the 8-ish. Anywhere between 6, 7, and 8, man. One of those numbers right there. Listen, Matt Rule's coming in. I think he has a beautiful plan to be put together over time. Rome wasn't built in one day. But I definitely think you're going to see them get up for Matt Rule. They're going to play their hearts out for Matt Rule, man. Now, will it translate to wins? I just don't know just yet. Honestly, I'm more so scared about that defense than I am about the offense. I think with Christian, DJ, and I think they're going to bring in another weapon. Maybe, don't be surprised you see Robbie Anderson on the roster or another big-name splash at receiver or big-name splash at tight end. So I think the offense is going to be all right. That defense has me real concerned. Really concerned. There's only about a handful of people out there that can hold it down on that defense. I'm not going to mention their name. They know who they are. But with that being said, I got to say anywhere between 6 to 8 wins, y'all.
Is you dumb?
This next question comes from Twitter. Shout out to J-Rex. J-Rex asks, did Greg Olsen really parted ways mutually, or did he really not want anything to do with the rebuild? Well, it came out that, in the Charlotte Observer, also WFNZ, it wasn't necessarily a mutual departing. Now, he didn't specify why, but you can kind of hint at it. I mean, I don't think anybody knows for sure unless you got some kind of inside information. But, I mean, if I got to speculate about it, maybe that money has something to do with it. He came out and said he was willing to play with that team, willing to play with the system, all that good stuff. Maybe it was something about the money, you know what I mean? Maybe he didn't want to take a cut. I mean, during the interview, he never came out and denied anything. I mean, he never came out and addressed the money situation, which is kind of odd. I mean, if you're going to say you're willing to do anything and you're willing to be a part, speak on the money situation, which I didn't hear. Maybe you guys heard, but I didn't hear. But I honestly believe they felt that, he was a little over the hill, maybe a little too much of a risk, being 34. And maybe, again, here's one of my assumptions. Maybe they didn't, they couldn't take him doing the booth. You know what I mean? Football is a thing where if your heart is not fully in it, you can't perform to the best of your ability. So maybe they kind of felt like he was kind of halfway in the booth and halfway on the field. And again, with a new coach and a new staff, you want guys who are going to be 100% transparent when it comes to being on that team and being on that field and giving it their all. So if you got any hesitancy about any of that, you probably will want to let them go. But again, this is all speculation. There's nothing we can say for sure. But I honestly believe it. Was it a force out? Well, if it smelled like a duck, if it quacked like a duck, and if you can get it at Peking's, it's probably a duck.
Hey, take care of this for me, will you?
This next question comes from Ivan Norman, 89, from Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. Do you think Redskins have a likely chance of getting Greg Olsen? Because there was a report from Olsen that the Panthers did not want to keep him, even though he wanted to come back and keep playing. Again, with Greg Olsen, I honestly believe that, listen, if you look at who he's choosing to visit, Buffalo Bills, Washington Redskins, and the Seattle Seahawks. When it comes to Washington Redskins, come on, no-brainer. You got Ron Rivera up there. You got Sean McDermott. And Buffalo, all these guys are familiar faces. If I was him, be honest with you, man, I hope he goes to Seattle. I think him and Russell Wilson, I think that'll be a deadly combination. Probably be good on the fantasy football. But listen, if he really wants to stick it to Carolina, I mean, why not go to Redskins and then turn around, we play us later in the season. And if he truly believes in himself, come back and stick it to our ass. You know what I mean? Will he do that? I don't know. But it seems like Ron Rivera has a great rapport with a lot of guys on his team. And him being one of them, will he go to Washington? I can't say. But it definitely is not out of the question. This next question comes from Instagram. Panthers Analysis. Panther Analysis asks, how confident are you in Ian Thomas and how big of a need is tight end? Well, my confidence level, if 5 is the best, I got to put 2.5 in Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas is a guy who has shown improvement. He has shown the ability to go out there and make plays. He has shown that, he could be inconsistent. You can see even when Cam Newton was healthy, he was still kind of inconsistent. He's a guy that really underwhelmed for me. A guy who you kind of felt like if he got his time, he got his turn, that he'll seize the moment. He'll carpe diem that shit, but it kind of went under the carpe diem. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he can't get it done. He can't get it done, but, I mean, to follow in Greg Olsen's footsteps, that's a big foot to follow in, okay? And not to mention that at age 34, you know what I mean? My man still put up 600 yards with Kyle Allen, that quarterback, and Cam Newton being hurt. So can Ian Thomas at least match that production? I don't know yet. I don't know. We had a lot of guys on here we just don't know about. Root for the kid. Hopefully he can do it. Hopefully he can find some consistency. And when you ask me how big of a tight end, how big of a need is tight end is pretty big because a tight end is Cam Newton's safety net. Some of Cam Newton's best years at quarterback has been with a solid tight end, i.e. Greg Olsen. So again, if all else fails on the outside, he usually looks for his tight end. He usually looks for his running back. Can Ian Thomas fill those shoes and be that guy? I don't know, but he's definitely going to have an opportunity. So far, underwhelming, but he definitely will have his shot.
Who's next?
This next question comes from Instagram. Shout out to J_Sarah_Para2. How would you feel if we drafted Justin Fields next year in the draft? Listen, let me tell you something, man. I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. Go Dogs, sick and woo, 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 woo. Listen, man, we already done passed up on this guy. The Bulldogs passed up on him. So if I had a chance to get this guy again, man, we got to get him, man. I know a lot of you guys, he's not quite a Cam Newton, because Cam Newton was a beast coming out of college. As far as being a physical body, Cam Newton was more of a bigger guy, you know what I mean? Almost kind of like a tight end kind of built kind of body, but, you know, got that quarterback strength, quarterback accuracy, you know, the playmaker ability as well. He's a little bit on the lean side, you know what I mean, on the skinny side, but my man can make just as many plays with his feet as he can with his arm. If you're looking to rebuild this franchise with somebody that could be a kind of potential Cam Newton prototype, but a little less, you know, a little less heavier, you know what I mean, if that makes any sense, go with him, man. My guy's a hell of an athlete. You see what he did for Ohio State. If it wasn't for a bad miscommunication on that last play, probably would have been playing for a national championship. But I do believe in Justin Fields. I would love for us to have him. But again, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is a guy, you know, he could be out there as well. And a lot of people saying he's inconsistent. He's young as well. The thing about the quarterbacks coming out of next year's draft, you just don't know right now. You know what I mean? You got to see how they look in another season when people don't figure them out and all that good stuff. Now, you've seen Trevor Lawrence. He didn't have necessarily his best year, but a lot of people say he didn't play anybody. So, again, it's a lot of things that factor into that. I'm like this, man. I'm in the mindset of take Kyle Allen, allow him to get some reps, man. Allow him to get another. Listen, what's the worst you could do? Allow him to get some more reps in, see what he could do. He has some high moments. Put some offensive line around him. Put some decent wide receivers around him to go with DJ Moore. Put a good tight end around him, and let's let it roll. Let's let it roll. So, again, I don't want to get too reliant on next year's draft because, you know, we might got the quarterback in the future on our roster.
Is you dumb?
I'm your host, Grande Gato, also known as the Big Cat. My cool cat, put your paws up if you rock with the Big Cat. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for episode 1, part 1 of the Q&A session for the Carolina Panthers. We're going to do a part 2. If I didn't answer your question, don't get mad. Don't unsubscribe. Share that love, man. Make sure you subscribe. Get in the comment sections about any of these questions, any of these topics. Check me or ride with me if you ride it with me, if you're down with me. However you want to do it, man. Make sure you subscribe. Follow the channel on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Keep_TV. If you didn't get a chance to ask your question, go to any one of those platforms. Find the little list where it says ask your question. And guess what? You could be on episode part 2. I want to thank you guys. Make sure you tune into podcast, Anchor FM, Google FM, Spotify, the whole 9. Make sure you tune in tonight at 9:30. We'll be going live for another live stream. Let's get up out of here. Let the church say, dab.